Hello guys and welcome back to another video. So you may be wondering why I'm putting out another pickups video so soon. Well, yesterday was Sunday the 18th of April and it was a very special day in my gaming collecting calendar. That's because yesterday saw the return of car boots in the UK. So my normal car boot did come back earlier in the week, but due to work, this was the first one I could get to, and it was a massive car boot. And there were some fantastic pickups to be made. So in this video I'm going to be going through what I found at the car boot this weekend. One thing, there is no footage from the car boot because it was super busy. But I really want to know from you guys, are you interested in seeing video of me going around the car boot or just the stuff I pick up afterwards? Let me know in the comments. But let's get into what we picked up yesterday, the first car boot of the year. So as I said, it was a massive car boot yesterday. So the car boot I normally go to is the Arming Hall car boot here in Norfolk. I would say easily over 100 cars and vans were there this week. We got there bright and early, just in time for the opening at 7:30. So they said it opened at 7:30, but the queues were massive. But I think there was a lot of hype for this being the first car boot back. But we were straight in. For the first few stands, I picked up my first pickup. This was just a Teenage Mutant Turtles VHS tape. So at the moment, I'm not collecting old school VHSs, but I just love the artwork on this one. I really like TMNT, and this one just really stood out for me at 50p. It's a nice little item to put up on the shelf. Next item I picked up is one that I could have easily missed because it is just mixed up in a load of toys. But if you do not recognise this, this is a replica of the Ripper axe from the Borderlands saga. So it's just made of foam, but it's quite a nice little display piece. I think it might look nice on the wall, similar to the Master Sword there from Zelda. When I looked these up online, these are going for crazy amounts. I think they're selling for about £70, which is absurd. But the thing is, I did pick this up for £1. But they do carry on handy if you ever need to make yourself a meat puppet. The next stand I visited was a reseller, but he had some really reasonable prices. So the first thing I picked up was this Disney Infinity playset, which has Ray and Finn. So this was £4, which is about right, but it does kind of save on postage and it's in really good condition, still sealed, so it's definitely worth picking up and saving on that postage and packaging. From the same stand, from digging through some bags and bags of DVDs and games, I picked up Splinter Cell Double Agent for the Wii. Always good to add another Splinter Cell game to the collection, as well as Little Britain for the PlayStation 2, which is infamous as being one of the worst games of all time. So guys, let me know in the comments, have you played this travesty of a game, and is it even worth the electricity putting it in the PlayStation 2? The next one is quite an interesting one. So basically, I was speaking to a seller and noticed he had a load of stuff on the back of his van, just in the back behind his stand. So I got talking to him and found out he is a fellow collector. So he'd been there early this morning, kind of picked through a few sites, and he just asked me my opinion on these Game Boy games. So we were he was wondering if they were fakes. So I had a quick look through and definitely could deduce they are fakes. Except this one, which is Game Boy Advance Over the Hedge. So not really a big money title, but one is cool to add when it's complete in the box. So these were definitely two that were fake, and they are Super Mario Advance and also Super Mario World Advance 2. So they're two pretty good games to add to the collection, just because it'd be nice to go back and play these. They're definitely copies, but definitely quite nice copies, and it's just a good way to be able to play the game. A lot of people wouldn't have really been interested in these reproduction games, but I do kind of like them. I kind of see them as a bit of a rarity, something just kind of pop on the shelf. But these ones always hold quite a firm place in my heart, as I think they're quite hilarious. This is a 120 in one Game Boy Advance cart. So they have managed supposedly to fit 120 games into this one cartridge. As you can see, it is obviously not even remotely official, but I just like the fact they've made kind of a little box for it and kind of at least put the effort in. I don't really know where you'd even find these in shops or if they just kind of car boot fodder, but they're always kind of a nice rarity to add into the collection. All these Game Boy Advance games were a little bit of a strange pickup. So the guy had already bought them earlier in the day along with some other games. He picked up a bundle for a tenner and I took these ones off him for a £5. It's always nice to see fellow collectors helping each other out. I just guess he wasn't quite as interested in the repros as I was. The next store is one of my favourite kinds of stalls at any car boot. These games were all 20p each, literally picking up 5 games for £1. Surprising one is FIFA 18 for the Xbox One, but I suppose when the years pass these games become absolutely useless. Next up, one my wife spotted and thought it's quite interesting is Road Trip Adventure for the PS2. Another game I have no idea about, but looking at the back, it does seem to have car football. So maybe it's where Rocket League spawned from, who knows? Next we have a game I've been on the lookout for a while, and that's the Xbox Music Maker for the original Xbox. It's just kind of one of those random titles I wanted to add to my original Xbox library. It was really good to get it, super cheap. Finally, we have two Wii games. We have WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, which, as you know, I collect all the wrestling games, so it's always good to add another one, especially at the 20p mark, especially when you look at that, and it was once £14. So £14, 20p, 13 years, you do the maths. Also, one I've been meaning to pick up on the Wii for ages, and that is Endless Ocean. This game looks really interesting, kind of a scuba diving adventure, looks super chill, and I think it'd be really fun. Just kick back and relax with this one. From the same stand, I also picked up Fall Auto 2 for the PSP. This was £1, but you know, PSP games are a bit rarer to pick up at the car boot, so it's always good to add one, especially this one, as I've really played the first one. I thought it's a really decent game. One I very nearly missed, and I've been very pleased. I've been really getting myself ready for the car boots, watching all you fellow YouTubers' history videos, looking through. This is Zombie 6 Foot Under. So, if you know me, you know I'm actually also quite a bit of a board gaming nerd. So, Zombies is one of those classic games. Even for the casual gamer, you can jump in and enjoy it. I think it has, correct me if I'm wrong, 12 or 13 expansions. I've got 4 or 5. I managed to pick this one up for just £1.50. These are getting harder and harder to pick up. So if you ever see these Zombies expansions, snap them up. Next, we just have a few games I just picked up from random sellers, all £1 each, so nice and cheap. First one is Power Rangers Dino Thunder. So do like an old Power Rangers game, so looking forward to checking this one out. And the other one is FIFA 17 for the Xbox 360. So you may be asking yourself, Dan, why are you picking up FIFA games for the Xbox 360? Well, I've been looking on CX's website, and this one actually gets £3 trade-in at the moment. So picking this up for 50p, you can make £2.50 profit. Nice and easy to put towards trading into games you actually want. I think this could be, correct me if I'm wrong, because it's the last FIFA game released on the Xbox 360. But if you are hitting up those car boots, you will see this one all the time. So it's definitely worth picking up and striking while the iron's hot. Next up, we have some strategy guides. I'm always on the lookout for these at car boots. You can easily buy them online, but people are always trying to get rid of them. They're kind of a dead media now and pretty hard to display and collect unless you're a collector like myself. The first one I picked up was this Star Wars Battlefront guide. This was a really good game back in the day on the Xbox One I poured hours into. So it has got a little bit of a tear there on the front and on the back, but still a good one to add into the collection. Next up, we have an absolute classic, and that is this Halo 2 guide, again for the original Xbox. I don't know where people hide these for the last 10 to 15 years, but it's really good. They're still appearing at the car boots. Final one we have here is a Disney Kingdom Hearts guide. So I'm not the biggest fan of this, but I know it's one of those ones that's good to add into the collection. I think it's a game I probably would need the guide to jump into. The guy I understand was asking £7 for these free guides. I tried to offer him 5. It's always best to try and offer 5. He went 6, so I asked him if he'd just throw it in this little Sega ProMaster Volume 1 guide, which is actually a little bit of a bargain. So this was thrown in, 4 books for £6, so pretty good pickup. And definitely, I think if you bought these on eBay with postage, you'd be lucky to have got one of these guides. So definitely, if you're at the car boots and you like strategy guides, shuffle through all those book bins. I was getting to the end of the car boot when I found this steering wheel complete in box. So this is for the Xbox 360, PS3, PS2, and also works on the PC. It is fully complete. The box is in pretty good condition, except for a bit of a boot down there. This is one I wasn't sure to pick up, but at £2 I thought I'd give it a go so I can go back and play some of those older racing games. This is one of the things with being a collector though. This is a large item and will take up precious space in the games room. So would you pick up something like this? Normally I would not, but as it's complete in box, it's kind of a nice little keepsake and a timepiece. One of the big questions I am always asked as a game collector is how much it costs to add and build up such a massive collection. But this is the thing, if you put in the time and the effort, it slowly builds over time. So this was from just one car boot for 2.5, 3 hours work. It was getting up pretty early on a Sunday morning, but all of this stuff all together put me back £26. And if you add all that stuff together, it's Especially if you bought it on eBay or online, you are talking probably that in just postage. So all of this from one day. That's the thing, if you go to a car boot every week, you're going to build up a massive collection in no time at a very small cost. So it's worth putting in the time, get up early and dig it in. Okay, so guys, this is normally the part of the video where I'll be saying thank you for watching and remember to like and subscribe. But Sunday was no normal Sunday. It seemed like the gaming gods had more in store for me. So yesterday evening I saw this listing come up on Facebook Marketplace, and you can imagine how quickly I jumped on this one. I was in the car and picking it up within half an hour, and it's one of the best pickups I've had for ages. So it is listed as free on there, but I asked them how much they wanted and she said £10. £10 for a decent selection of Mega Drive, Master System. There's some controllers and some other bits in there. She said to me they've just been in the back of a cupboard. When I went to collect it, it looks like she was moving house. So I was more than happy to help her moving these ones on to a new loving home. So this is the box in question that I picked up last night. I made sure she marked it as sold so I knew no one else was going to jump on it, as I knew this was an amazing deal. As always, the time to strike these things is straight away. She said I could collect today, but I wanted to get it last night to make sure I got it home in hand so I can get through it. So let's dive on in. First thing that stood out to me, I saw it upside down, is this Mega Drive 2 Master System converter. So if you can see there, it is a little bit mouldy, but I reckon this will clean up really nicely. Obviously it needs testing, but with a lot of this kind of older stuff, it's probably just going to be fine. She said she doesn't know if any of this is working, but it's just been in the back of the cupboard. So I look forward to jumping in, checking all this stuff out. So in this box we have a selection of controllers. So this is just a third-party Mega Drive controller. As you can see, like all things in the 90s, it has those turbo buttons, has to be on there. This one, not really a great one, just add it into the collection. The next controller is this Gamester MD6 controller. Once again, you can see at the top it has all those turbo buttons. All the wires in these are super clean. They need a bit of a dust off and they'll be ready to go. Also with this, we have another Gamester controller, but this one is the 6-button one. So I don't actually have a Mega Drive 6-button controller. So that's really cool to add in. Once again, shockingly, turbo buttons there. If that wasn't enough controllers for you guys, we have two normal Mega Drive 2 controllers. So these are just the 3-button ones, but they're always good to add in. It's always good to have spares, and you'll see why I need so many controllers later in the video. One of the games I didn't see and I didn't recognise in the advert was this Sonic and Knuckles. So this was just buried under all the controllers in the box. So I haven't got this at all, let alone in the box, as I think this was only ever released using a cardboard box. So that's getting slightly harder to find. If you don't know, this game is really interesting. So it has a hatch at the top here and you can slot other games in. I think it's primarily made so you can slot other Sonic games in, so you can go back and revisit them playing as Knuckles. But I think, correct me if I'm wrong, there's some other games you can plug in and get some interesting results. The most important thing of any pickup is the games. We're going to go through the Master System games first. So here we have Sonic the Hedgehog Chaos for the Sega Master System. So I don't actually have this one in my collection. It's one of the few Sonic games I don't have for the Master System, but this is in really, really nice condition. And also opening it up, it is fully complete. So it's really good to add that complete in box to the Master System collection, which is slowly growing over time. Next up, we have one which I have not seen for a long while for the Master System, and that is Streets of Rage. Obviously, everyone needs this in their collection. I thought we'd go for the Mega Drive one. Haven't actually played the Master System version, so looking forward to checking this out and comparing it. Also, as well, once again, this is complete in box, but randomly it has what I think is the Mega Drive, correct me if I'm wrong, instruction book, as well as the cardboard one, sorry, paper one for the Master System. Getting that extra book is quite a bonus, as I do have a copy of Streets of Rage for the Mega Drive, but was missing the manual. So it's always good to keep an eye out for little bits like that so you can complete the collection and get everything complete in box. Lastly, for the Master System, we have Super Space Invaders. So again, I know very little about this game. It is in amazing condition for its age, and it's once again complete in box. Some really good Master System pickups there. Really glad to be building that collection up, getting more and more great games. Next up, we have the Mega Drive games from this pickup, and we have 3 absolute doozies to start us off. One of these was the main reason I did jump on this straight away. So we have a very nice complete in box copy of Sonic the Hedgehog. Seriously, if you have a Mega Drive and do not own this game, you need to reevaluate your life. but I do have this one, but this is a really nice condition box. So the next one we have is Sonic the Hedgehog Spinball. So this is one I don't actually have in my collection at the moment, but the box has kind of seen better days, so what I will probably do is swap the box out for Sonic and change it over to this one. Once again, these are all complete in box. This one as well has a, of course it is the colour version because it is the Mega Drive. It's also got a poster in there, which I think came with a lot of the games back then, so you can see what other games there were. But this was the main one that really made me jump on this bundle, and it is Sonic 3. So this game has got a fair amount of value. So I have already got this, but this copy is complete with the instructions, which was missing from my copy. So when I get a duplicate game that has a decent amount of value, I will normally flip it on eBay. But this one is going for about £20 on eBay at the moment. So even with that, we are doubling the £10 we put into this deal. But on Chicken CX's website, you can also get £20 trade-in credit for this as of today. So I think I'm probably going to go down that route because after fees and also postage and packaging, I'm probably going to lose quite a bit of money selling this through eBay. Next we have another game which I do actually already own, and that is Taz and Escape from Mars. This is a really good side-scrolling platformer. Definitely want to check out. Again though, this one is in really neat condition. If I ever have Mega Drive games like this, which are quite low value, I will swap out these better cases for ones I have in slightly worse condition. Another classic Mega Drive game, which I haven't actually played, but I know they've remastered recently, so it'd be quite good to go back and play the original, is Flashback. I kind of heard this game was a little bit ahead of its time, and looking at the graphics on the back, this really does look like a bit of a powerhouse on the Mega Drive. Once again, amazing condition and fully complete. Really happy to add this classic into the collection. Last but certainly not least, we have Micro Machines World Tournament 96. So this was a game that I put some severe hours into back in the day, playing multiplayer on the Mega Drive split screen. So this is why I think they might have all those controllers, because when you look at the cart, again, it is complete in box. It has 2 extra ports there to plug controllers into. So I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. This must be a 4-player game. So 4-player game. Back in the day, that was quite interesting because obviously the Mega Drive only had 2 controller ports. But reading on the back, with shared controller options, it allows up to 8 players sharing 4 controllers. How awesome would it be to get 8 of you, when it isn't COVID, struggling around a TV with 4 controllers playing 8-player Micro Machines? That is something which I'm definitely going to have to try and find out and do. So guys, we are actually at the end of the video now, and you can see that retro game collecting is alive and well in 2021. Car Boots will always be one of my favourite places to pick games up. You can get some amazing deals, but like with that Mega Drive and Master System deal, sometimes you just have to be keeping an eye on Facebook Marketplace. Things come up very cheap, but they will go even quicker. All of these games have been amazing pickups this time. All I need to do is obviously give them a good clean over and catalogue them and add them into the system. So we've had some amazing pickups this time. Remember, this is just over the course of one day. Not every day is going to be that good, but you know, it is Super Sunday. You hit the car boots in the morning, keep an eye on Facebook Marketplace, and who knows what might turn up. So we got all those games for just £37. That is literally changed from 40. That is incredible to pick up that much stuff. Imagine if you pick that stuff up on eBay or in the stores, that would set you back a heck of a lot more. So I hope you enjoyed this video. There is a whole season of car beats ahead, and also some of the bigger game shops, smaller shops, and charity shops are opening up soon, so there's going to be so many more game pickups. So remember to like and subscribe this video. Keep it here for all your favourite video game pickups and content. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Dan the Games Man, and most importantly, keep playing the game.